Hello, me mateys. Vuvi Yaloovie here, and welcome back to Pokémon Champions, where we're going to be continuing to use Mega Ordino as well as our favorite Pokemon, Alchemy. Now, so let's see what we come up against. A good amount of fairy type weaknesses here, plus Meowstic. So I suspect this is probably like fake out Meowstic given how speedy their team is. We can definitely see some Sunny Day on Meowstic as well, thanks to Mega Houndoom. We're not too particularly worried about Sunny Day. It could also be Trick Room, like Imprisoned Trick Room as well. That's also a possibility, but I'm suspecting it's Sunny Day Dragon types, but I do have like 2 potential fairies that I can use. So what I'm going to be using, I'm actually just going to they should have Rotom, right? So I'm going to actually use Goodra first. Then I'm going to have Vaporeon and of course Alchemy. Now I could probably get away with using Chandelure here too, just to wall out the Houndoom, but the dark typing is making me very hesitant. Also the Hydreigon too, right? So if they knew what my team was capable of, I'd suspect they'd have Hydreigon and Houndoom as well as a Meowstic lead. And then Rotom to cover for Vaporeon, right? So always have an idea of what your team is capable of and what their weaknesses are. That way you can have more of an understanding on what they're going to send out. So I was kind of correct in that fact that they were going for Sunny Day Houndoom here. They could go for a fake out turn 1. I'm completely fine with that. I need to mega the Ordino. I don't want to get obliterated by Overheat first turn, so I'm going to try for a Mega Trick Room here. Now, we're going to find that the Fake Out will go into 1 slot. So, I'm just going to take my time with dealing with the Meowstic, so I'm going to go for a Dragon Pulse into the Houndoom here. So it could be, yeah, I was right that it was going to be Mega Houndoom. Not surprised about that is what I should say. So we will go for a Mega Ordino here. This should guarantee my survival, at least for this turn. They should fake out the Ordino because Ordino is a Trick Room option, and you always want to fake out most... Oh, no, they go for Sunny Day, so I was pretty much on the ball there. So we're going to see Dark Pulse, so they don't use their Fire move, which means we do get Trick Room off if we don't flinch, which is going to be very important if we don't flinch. If we do flinch, it's probably just game over, right? No, never mind. We do get the Trick Room off, so that does mean we should have a pretty good matchup into the rest of their team. Yep, there we go. Forfeit. Easy peasy. No, not that wasn't really that easy. So if I was my opponent in that round, it's good to understand. Like, you're not going to understand all the Pokemon that you come across, right? Especially if you're new to Pokemon. First of all, I would suggest looking up all the Pokemon that can learn Speed Control. So like Icy Wind, Tailwind, Trick Room. All these Pokemon are going to be so important to recognize in VGC especially, because these Pokemon can just turn the tide of the battle by flipping the order of moves, right? So we're going to come across Weenie here, and Weenie's going to show us... Come on, loading screen. Rain Team with Incineroar and Florges. So I suspect this is going to be Rain Mega Greninja as well as Mega Meganium. So I actually do have something for the team there. I'm not going to say what it is. And so they might just go for a Dragonite angle. So definitely go with the Alchemy here. And then I think, even though they do have like Florges and the Dragonite and Pelipper, I think it might actually be better going Meowscarada here, because, okay, Florges has way too much special defense for Chandelure. Chandelure doesn't really appreciate Incineroar, nor does it appreciate Greninja. It's okay into Mega Meganium, but I think I should be good going for a Meowscarada angle here. You could also argue I could use Vaporeon too. That's also a good option here. Probably should have in retrospect, but we'll see how we go. So I'm expecting rain. Yep, there's the rain. So I don't want them to... we gotta force them to fake out the Audino here, so I'm not gonna Mega Evolve just yet. Even if they do Darkest Lariat, we're not that afraid of it. So I want to switch in at some point. Then we can Thunder the Pelipper. So I'm just going to make sure I did that. Sometimes I just misclick, so I just check again. And then I'll go for a Thunder onto the Thunder Gaming with Pelipper, me mateys. Okay, so they do recognize that we might have an electric move on the Goodra. They're gonna probably fake out. No, they know fake out. Okay, no, never mind. Superpower, that won't KO Audino, but it will do a lot of damage. So we do see that we're faster on the Goodra, which might have been a misplay on my part. But you know, they wanted to see if we had our speed options, right? Speed control, so we're not too worried about that. So even if Pelipper and Incineroar are faster than us, now that we've shown Thunder, I'm actually going to send in a Dragon Pulse into the Pelipper slot, right? We want to get more HP onto the Audino from Regenerator. That's why I didn't Mega in that turn. Incineroar usually doesn't have enough attack power to KO most things. Yeah, so it's going to be a Mega Meganium angle here. So we see that Incineroar is continuing to use Superpower, which will lower its attack and defense. So I'm never going to be worried about the Incineroar ever again, unless if it uses something like Parting Shot, which it should on this turn. So I'm going to be using a Calm Mind on the Alchemy because I'm not worried about the Incineroar, nor am I worried about the Meganium just yet. So I want to protect on the Goodra, just so we can stall out a little bit more of their rain turns and more than likely see a Dazzling Gleam. So they do Parting Shot, so they do have to stay in on the Incineroar, so we're pretty good on that. And this covers for a potential Parting Shot on the Alchemy, I guess, too. We're not going to be able to KO the Mega Meganium. They didn't Mega the Meganium, which is interesting from my perspective anyway. Now would be a good time to Mystical Fire, right? They're going to use Parting Shot onto the Alchemy slot this time, I'd reckon. And because they've shown me that they want to use Dazzling Gleam first, I think I should be safe in for a double up into the Meganium slot. If they switch, that's a really good move on their part. I just want the Meganium down. Ideally, they should switch out Incineroar. I should be targeting the Incineroar because of Meowscarada in the back. I'm not that worried about it. But we will lower the Mega Meganium with the special attack drop from Mystical Fire. Then a Flamethrower should just finish it off. Yeah, nice work. Goodra and Alchemy. Now they know we have Thunder on Goodra, so I'm expecting another Protect on the Pelipper. But you know, I'm feeling game. I kind of just want to go for it, right? No reason not to. So nothing wrong with going for a Dazzling Gleam and Thunder from my perspective. So Protect on the Pelipper seems about right, and then a Fake Out from the Incineroar, if I'm not mistaken. Could be Fake Out, or it could be Darkest Lariat. I don't think they're game enough to use Superpower again after seeing how much it did to Alchemy. It will do a fair bit of damage, but it won't be enough for a 2-hit KO on the Goodra, barring critical hits. So there's the Fake Out onto the Goodra. They want to preserve their Pelipper, no doubt, and so we'll just get a lot of damage onto them from here. Goodra flinches, which is okay. U-turn onto Alchemy, which is not too bad. That's not too bad for me. I still get a lot of damage off into the Pelipper. They are delaying Trick Room turns. So now we're going to definitely see a Mega Greninja angle here, since they didn't Mega the Meganium. So now we can probably expect just like a Dark Pulse from the Greninja? Yeah, Greninja. So they need to use their strongest water move on Alchemy and double up onto the Alchemy to prevent a KO. So what I'm going to be going for, I'm going to be doubling up into the Greninja, even though they're probably going to Protect. The good play would be Protect, right? I don't think it's likely. They should switch on the Incineroar slot to boost its rain further, if I'm not mistaken. No, they don't. Okay. Ice Beam will probably just KO the Goodra thanks to Protein. Oh, but Special Defense. Oh, Goodra has a lot of Special Defense. So we see Dragon Pulse, and then Dazzling Gleam will no doubt pick up the KO here. Alright, so now we're just up against Pelipper and Incineroar here. So a good move from my opponent there, going for an Ice Beam onto the Dragon type, I should say, not Dragonite. So they will get in their Pelipper in and another Intimidate. That was actually a really good move from the Incineroar to parting shot like that. It's just a little bit unfortunate that I didn't have any physical attackers on the field. Alright, so we should be able to close this one out with Dragon Pulse onto the Incineroar and then Dazzling Gleam. If they have Wide Guard, now would be a good time to use it, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for my opponent to come out from this one, barring like critical hits. Yeah, so we did correctly guess the Protect on Pelipper. They're really afraid of Thunder Gaming, me mateys. So good Fake Out from them. Unfortunately, I have read a little bit more into the Pelipper there. So Dazzling Gleam will definitely KO the Pelipper, and will just Thunder Gaming for good measure. Not too bad, me mateys. I should have thundered the Pelipper, but well, yeah, no, that's my bad. Pelipper will use Hurricane. There's a chance I could get confused here, so that's not too... Oh, yeah, very good, very good. Goodra goes down. Oh, that's nice. Okay. But Dazzling Gleam will just KO both of them. Very good, me mateys. Very good. As I said before in the first match, always good to stick out to the end of a match, even if you're, like, completely going to get rolled over, right? It's good to make sure that your opponent doesn't slip up in their strategy, because sometimes even the smallest of openings can just completely crack open the defenses and then you can suddenly win, right? Just like how I tried to go for Vaporeon in my second battle, I believe. Not in this video, but like in my second video where I came across Milotic and tried to get the win in that situation with a 4v1. Came pretty close, but it unfortunately was just not enough. So we're going to be going into Elvis with his fancy moves. Unfortunately, there's no Oricorio here, but we got 2 fake out options from the enemy team, which is very not good for me. So realistically, we're gonna try and bait out their fake out option with Ordino, right? Chandelure should be good into most of the things they're thinking of. Just what worries me is the Garchomp coming out, because it's not that bad into this matchup. And then I think... Actually, no, I don't want to... Oh, this is not too bad. So I'm thinking it's a sun angle. Okay, well, I'm not too worried about it, I suppose. I really should be, but I'm not too worried about it. And just to mix things up... Nah, I gotta go Alchemy, right? I really do want to go Alchemy, but Alchemy is terrible in this situation. You know what? I've used Meowscarada. Oh, no, Alchemy. I gotta go Alchemy. It has to be Alchemy. They got Sun. Oh dear, what am I thinking? Oh no. So, let's see what we can do here. I'm not actually sure what I should do into this matchup, so I'm kind of just winging it for this one. So it is Garchomp and Charizard here, so no doubt an Earthquake and probably a Flamethrower Overheat into the Ordino slot. So I'm going to Mega and then Trick Room. Yeah, I want a Trick Room with Mega. Should see a ground move, but I'm gonna protect. We'll see how we go. So this is going to be Earthquake, no doubt, into Fire move into Ordino. At least it should be. They should probably also have like Rock Slide or whatever. Rock Slide, but they have Earthquake, so why not just use Earthquake? It is Garchomp, they should have Earthquake, especially on this team. So we will protect on the Chandelure. Let's see if they're doubling up into the Ordino, which would be their win condition. So Chandelure gets into its protect. Let's see how much this does into Ordino. Yep, so it needs a overheat. Nah, Heat Wave will not be able to KO the Ordino unless if it crits, if I remember correctly. Yep, so that is very nice, me mateys. We do get the Trick Room, and because Mega Ordino has a lot more special defense and defenses while it's Mega form, we can find a nice KO there. So let's go for a Dazzling Gleam into the both the Charizard and the Garchomp, and let's also threaten a KO on the Garchomp with Shadow Ball. Now, do I preserve the Ordino is a really good question, because this does look like it's going to be a very good team into outspeeding me. I think my priority is preserving the Chandelure at the very most, right? So I'll go for a Dazzling Gleam and then a Shadow Ball onto the Garchomp. They don't protect on Garchomp, so it should fall to a Shadow Ball here. Yeah, very good, me mateys. Oh wait, we've got to actually see if it faints. Very good. No Focus Band or whatever. Oh, thank you for not running Focus Band. Ugh. So now that we've shown that we're actually Flame Body, or it could be Infiltrator, right? But we're not Flash Fire on the Chandelure. Very important when you're up against Chandelure, try not to use those Fire type attacks, because you can risk Flash Fire activating. And especially when you've got Sun, it's going to be very problematic for you to come back from. Because Flamethrower from Chandelure into Sun, Flash Fire boosted, not what you'd want to go up against, me mateys. That said, I think Flamethrower is my best option here, actually. We'll go for a Dragon Pulse into the Charizard. Yeah, just in case if they do have the Sneasler in the back, I want to preserve the Chandelure just a bit. So we've got our Alchemy again. It's a very good thing I didn't go into Meowscarada for this. So that's nice. We do see a lot of damage there, unfortunately, thanks to a critical hit. So I'm still gonna go for a... this and a Mystical Fire? I think I just want damage, right? We're in a bit of a tough situation. Oh, you know what I could do? Nah, Thunder probably won't KO from that range. It's too risky. Thunder! Thunder gaming. Nah, I've got to recover. That's alright. Alright, so we should see a parting shot from the Incineroar or a knockoff into the Alchemy. Darkest Lariat into the Goodra, no doubt, and then another Heat Wave to finish it off. Ooh, Heat Wave misses, Alchemy avoids, and Goodra will faint, unfortunately. That's not too bad. I probably should have conserved the Goodra a little bit better, in my opinion, but that's okay. So we have to go into Chandelure now. I think it's last turn of Trick Room 2, which is unfortunate for me. I haven't managed my Trick Room turns right, but that's okay. Yeah, that's alright. So I'll go for a Flamethrower this time into the Incineroar, and I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Because it's pretty likely that they might switch out Charizard here, so I'll just go for a Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, protect on the Charizard, so I was right. Charizard protects itself, yep, Dazzling Gleam won't do that much damage. We should see a KO into... oh, no, we won't see a KO. No. Okay, very good. There goes the Chandelure. Very nice, me mateys. That will be game for them. We don't have the speed tiers, I guess, for this sort of match. It was good of them to put in the Incineroar. I'm just trying to think of how I could have done this match a little bit better. Let's see... going Vaporeon probably was the better option in this matchup. Yeah. Very good. Flare Blitz, and that will get KO. Not too bad, me mateys. At least very glad I didn't go Meowscarada. I think the case for me in my gameplay, it's like, I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. And that's very fickle, I suppose. Let's see. Ooh, Umbreon Aegislash. Nice, nice. Okay. Umbreon screens and a lot of whatchamacallit? Disruption. Yes, a lot of disruption. So we could see Trick Room Aegislash here. Even Gardevoir might be their Trick Room option here. So I'm actually going to... I think it's likely that they're going for Trick Room here with Farigiraf. So what I might do, I might have... whatchamacallit? Meowscarada and Chandelure. We don't have Dark Pulse, so we can't actually KO the Farigiraf. And in case if they do have Trick Room on the Gardevoir, we still have Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, and a good hitting grass move, right? Then I think it's good to go Ordino, and then for AG Slash is going to be the toughest one, and I think this might be the first match where I have to go without Alchemy. Oh no. Yep, no Alchemy. Ah, no, what am I doing, me mateys? Oh no. Oh, poor Alchemy. Oh, this might be the one match where it has the chance to shine. Oh no. Oh no, if you've come this far. Oh no, oh, it's a Gideon. They got the fairy bonus there, or whatever. Yeah, oh no. Oh, so it would have been pretty good to run Alchemy. So the two dark types come out. Not too worried. I'll just go for the Samurott first. Then I'll go into the... I want to preserve Vaporeon, so I'll go for Ordino. They should protect the Samurott, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not running Taunt on Meowscarada, so it is a little bit unfortunate. No defense drop, hopefully. Nice. So we get a nice Flower Trick into the Samurott. Oko, right then and there. Not too bad, me mateys. Alright, Thunder Wave. Oh boy. So now is actually a good time to Trick Room, thanks to that. Depending on what they send out first, next, if it's going to be Farigiraf, I don't think there's a need to Trick Room. We're gonna see how we play out this match, me mateys. AG Slash, yeah, I don't think there's a need to. We are a little bit worried about King's Shield. It's going to be very dangerous going forward. So I'll go back into the... I still will risk it. They should be going for either King's Shield or an attacking move, right? Oh no, even Swords Dance, right? Then I can go for Life Dew? I'm going to go Life Dew, yeah. Yeah, King's Shield to reduce my attack on the Meowscarada, that's very good. So this will end up with me going for a good old-fashioned heal on both Meowscarada and Ordino. Pretty just Ordino for this match. So I'm not too worried about that because I do have White Herb. So that's why I could go for it with such confidence in that move, even though I... Yeah, anyway. So we're going to see pretty much the turn just play out again. I'm going to be using another Throat Chop, and then I do believe... Well, there's no weakness policy, so I'm not that worried. Okay, I think it might be a good idea to preserve the Ordino now. Go for a Mega Ordino. So we'll just switch out the Ordino here. I don't think they're going to be using Shadow Ball onto the Ordino, unless if they're really goated gamers. So there's the Sacred Sword. Oh boy. Okay, so probably did need a Trick Room then. Okay, that's alright. Foul Play into the Vaporeon slot. Nice. Hopefully we don't get fully paralyzed. Nice work, Meowscarada. So Trick Room there would have been a little bit more beneficial during that turn when I Life Dewed, just so I could finish off the AG Slash a little bit better. But since I don't know my speed tiers, I kind of had to put boots on the ground, I suppose you could say, and then just bleh. So Trace unfortunately does copy the Water Absorb, which is very unfortunate for me. I'm gonna go for a Sucker Punch into the Gardevoir, just so I can KO, like do some chip damage. Then I can probably just go for Calm Minds, right? Yeah, I think I'm happy to Calm Mind. Thunderbolt probably is going to be very good if they have it. Mega Gardevoir. Oh, this is going to be very difficult now. Vaporeon can't deal with it, and yep. Oh, they went for Calm Mind. Oh, this is no bueno, me mateys. Okay, good on them to go for Calm Mind. So I will need to hope that we get a Trick Room off with Audino in the back. And I was a little bit okay with switching out Audino. We will need to Trick Room absolutely now. So I'm just going to kind of go down with... Actually, I just want to threaten damage onto it now that they've Calm Minded. So I will keep on going for the Calm Mind on Vaporeon too. The Umbreon can't feasibly do that much damage into it. Future Sight will do a lot of damage in the long run. Meowscarada does go down there, which allows me to get some ground back. So we'll have to go into Audino here, and then we'll just have to chip away at it, right? Yeah, chip away at it, and then hope for a finish with Chandelure here. So Mega, then Trick Room, I suppose. It's very risky because they did copy that Water Absorb. We've got two Calm Mind boosts. Okay. I just want damage onto the Gardevoir now. Yeah, this is going to be very tough. Mega Gardevoir's special defense is really tough to crack. We're gonna find a little bit more difficult. Moonblast will do about half, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, not quite half, about a quarter. So we should be good to survive a little bit more on the Vaporeon. Hopefully we don't get fully paralyzed, but we should be able to survive pretty good now that they're aiming for the Vaporeon. We do land our Ice Beam, which is nice. Okay, we will get Trick Room. Yeah, we get the Trick Room off. Okay, so now we have the speed advantage here. So now we can hopefully go for... Oh, Vaporeon gets Cure Paralysis. Nice, nice. So that means Umbreon probably might just be faster now, but that's okay. We're still slower than the Gardevoir, and that's all I want the damage on now. Alright, me mateys. Let's see what they do here. Probably be good for... Oh, we don't get fully paralyzed, that's nice. Okay, there's no weakness policy, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, thanks to that, we'll definitely move before the Gardevoir if we're not getting fully paralyzed. And paralysis has been nerfed in this game to be 1/8 of the time. So Future Sight should hit me now that I've got 3 turns. Yeah, cool. Future Sight being a base 120 move, it's not that bad. I mean, okay. For Future Sight, you're really just hoping for a board state where you can feasibly get get a really good hit on whatever you're Future Sighting, right? It's not quite guaranteed damage though, that's why you don't really see it that often. So they will protect their Gardevoir. They don't really have any attacking options onto the Umbreon, so I'm kind of curious and see what they do here. Vaporeon doesn't move, so that's good. Let's see. Wish on the Umbreon. Okay. Vaporeon was cured again and paralysis again. It's so nice having Audino. And then a Dazzling Gleam should be able to finish off the match. Unless of course, if gets fully paralyzed again. But yeah, we'll just double up just in case, right? Ice Beam should be able to KO the Umbreon with 2 Calm Minds at that percentage. Ordino can't move, so I was correct going for the Ice Beam onto the Gardevoir here. We kind of foretold our bad luck in that situation, so it had to happen soon, and I'm quite glad I doubled up. So now it's just a battle, fight to the absolute death with Umbreon here. Last time a Trick Room, so we should be able to get a Life Dew up. Yep, Water Absorb, we recover 25% of our HP. Yep, it's going to be very hard for Umbreon to break 3 Pokemon. But yeah, it's kind of over in that aspect, and which will take too long to heal. So, very good, me mateys. A very long match there, but not too bad in the grand scheme of things. They hung out till the end, and I really respect them for that. Especially in a new game like Champions, where you got lots of new people coming through to try out the new Pokemon game, right? Always good to stick it out into the end. I know it's going to be rough when you're faced up against almost impossible odds and not knowing what's going on. But the more time you're like exposed to that sort of, you know, exposed to losing, exposed to winning to, see how opponents are KOing you, see what you can improve on. You know, it's going to be beneficial in the long run, I would reckon. And so that will be it for this video, me mateys. We have a pretty decent matchup, and then we just fall back to ground zero here with Ordino, Mega Ordino here. Now, of course, if you've watched this far and you're seeing my rank, right, or you skip to this part and oh, never mind, and you see my rank is still at Great Ball tier. Well, you know, we can climb at the pace we want. Okay, I'm just yeah, you know what I mean. Okay. Hello, me mateys. Post Vuvi Yaloovie here, and I just wanted to redo this ending a little bit because it really is important to understand how you want to enjoy this game going forward, right? It's going to, well, for me, it's a lot different to ZA, and I have to really consider the moves sometimes, what I need to do. I really do sometimes just trip up over my own words in my strategy sometimes, but anyway, we'll save that for the video content, me mateys. I just wanted to go over the differences between use team building for favorites and then team building for meta, right? And so don't worry about this team. You're going to be seeing it very soon, me mateys. Anyway, so what I wanted to go over is the idea of like how you're going to be enjoying this game going forward, because it's not like a main series game where you can just willy-nilly change moves on the fly. You know, you switch out low kick on Meowscarada for Sucker Punch because you're countering a lot more, let's just say, Gardevoir, I suppose, and you really want that sucker punch on the Gardevoir who's on like 10% HP, right? That's just an example, right? But in this game, it costs 250 VP to switch out a move no matter what's going to happen, right? No matter how strong or weak the move is, it will always cost the same amount. And so what I wanted to talk about a little bit as well is the what you might find more valuable in team building, because you're going to be playing this, maybe you'll be playing this game for a long time, or maybe you'll just be playing it for a short time. There's no way for me to know, me mateys, so I'm just going with a general broad advice here, and I'm going to be labeling the pros and cons of each side of the coin here. And maybe a little bit of the middle of the coin too. Anyway, so my style, as you can probably tell from these past few videos, has been favorites building. And so a good pro for me is that I really enjoy the battles that I'm having. Win or lose, it doesn't really matter as long as it's the path I choose. Yes, anyway, the teams that I make, or at least that I have when I'm battling, might not always win, but because I really enjoy the Pokemon that I'm using, I like Mega Ordino, I like Alchemy, I like Goodra, I like Vaporeon, I like Meowscarada again. I like Alchemy too, but I didn't use it in that last match. Yeah. Anyway, you get my point, right? Doesn't matter if I win or lose again. I just go into the ranked matches, and it's very fun for me to try and see how far I can climb with the teams that I build. Now, whether or not that's the most viable tactic, well, that's yet to be determined, right? Well, I'm a goated gamer, so I think I should be able to withstand a little bit of the meta, because I wouldn't... Well, actually, yeah. Oh dear. And so with building meta, right, one of the good things about building meta is that you can really climb fast if you understand the team very well, and if you can understand the team's win conditions, right? And that will really get you to high ranks really fast, and it's a really good idea, especially if you're a veteran player, just to go into the high Master Ball tier ranks, right? So you can get the matches that you know are going to be at your skill level, right? But because I'm not attuned to these turn-based battles as well as I am to real-time battles, Pokemon Champions is a game where I don't mind staying in the lower ranks so I can learn how to manage my team, right? And so what you might find, if you're like doing the meta team, if you ever wanted to deviate from that meta team, it might be a bit more difficult if you're a newer player or someone who doesn't have as much experience as some of these other players, right? Especially in the Master Ball tier at this point, right? Everyone who's in Master Ball tier at the moment have already got like years and years of Pokemon down their backs, and they know a consistent strategy that will net them the win most of the time, right? And then, because in Master Ball tier, because they already know their strategies, they will be mixing up the strategies that you might know that will definitely throw you off. And because I'm not really at that level, I suppose, I'm still developing my skill set in turn-based battles. But because I'm not at that level, again, I'm pretty happy to stay in the rank that I am. It's kind of the mindset I've always had with games that aren't my cup of tea, like MOBAs or even strategy games, right? I'm really happy to just ride the wave, and use the Pokemon that I really like. So, just a bit of food for thought there, me mateys, in terms of going for, just to help you think a little bit more what you want from the game, how you should spend your VP, and whenever you win or lose a match, don't worry about it too much. You still got VP for it. It's not going to be as much when you do lose, unfortunately, but if you understand and take the time to maybe reflect on what could have gone a little bit better, or even, understand the limitations of your Pokemon, especially knowing your own weakness on your team can be very helpful, especially if you're using favorites, because let's just say, for example, Mega Ordino, right? Mega Ordino, again, is very susceptible to Sneasler. Sneasler can OHKO with close combat, it can threaten a Dire Claw on Mega Ordino, and it can fake out at any time to stop my Trick Room, right? So, being a limitation of Mega Ordino there means I need to find a way to redirect the physical moves, right, so it doesn't hit the Ordino, but I also need to keep in mind that Fake Out is a possibility. And so, because there's no way to prevent Fake Out and redirect at the same time at the moment, the battle's kind of in Sneasler's favor, right? So I know that whenever I go into a matchup that has Sneasler, I'm going to have a rough time if I want to go for Trick Room. And that's just like one cog in the grand scheme of like in this whole machination of things, right? Just something, yeah, again, food for thought. That's all I wanted to say. If I talk anymore, I think I'll just like overthink everything. So that will be it for this video, me mateys. I'm Vuvi Yaloovie, me mateys. And I will see you in the next video. Ta and ta-ta.